All right, guys. Um, any volunteers to start? You can raise your hand because no any other indicators. Okay, let's start from you, Shams.
Okay, I can define my teaching style motivational, I don't know, triggering and informative, actually helpful. But I don't mean I help them to learn English. I mean when they don't have any idea, I try to give them idea that to speak. And motivational, I always motivate my students that I can do it. Actually, mostly I worked with people, with older people, and they already they give up just like after 1 month, because after 1 month the hardships they face. And I said triggering, because I trigger them to speak always, because the students are always in, let's say, they always calm, they just say one sentence and then give their order to another person. So I always trigger them to speak. Maybe I ask 2 questions to that student and one question to student which I know that will speak more than anyone, and that's in that way I try to moderate.
All right. Great. Great, Shams. Thank you so much. So it was 3 words. You had to describe your teaching experience. Yeah. So my question is still the same, guys. Describe your teaching experience in 3 words. And anyone else?
Would it be about the teaching style or like just in general?
Anything you want.
Okay. So I can talk about mine. Like the words are, first is volunteering, because in my hometown I was actually born and grew up in Balakan, not in Baku. And in my hometown there's a youth center, and there are like different kinds of clubs and activities there. And 2 years in a row during summer months I was like not teaching but moderating the conversation clubs there for school kids. So it was mainly about volunteering, and it made me feel really good, because like especially teaching kids make me feel better, and I know that English will play a big role in their lives in the future, because like in our century, in our decade, English is very important. So I don't know, it makes me feel much better to teach them. And also the second word is kids. So like I mainly taught kids, that's why again the word is kids. And the third one is my brother, because he is on 8th grade and I need to teach him English a lot. Like even when he's in Balakan and I'm in Baku, he calls me several times in a week and asks about his like English class, the homework. So I need to teach him a lot. That's why the third word is my brother.
All right. Thank you, Leila, for sharing these deep points. Okay, let's continue with Rufat.
So I guess I saw it a bit in a different way, but I mean, I guess there is no right or wrong answer. So I don't have that much teaching experience. I'm more likely involved in, let's say, peer-to-peer education. So I could take example of 3 words as a process. So it would be observing, analyzing, and making conclusions, making decisions, let's say. So it's like not a 3 independent word, but rather a one systematic process, which includes the 3 words. So I guess every group of people, every team that you are involved in is unique, and you have to be good observer in order to observe anyone, the behavior, and you cannot apply the same kind of approach to each group that you are going to moderate. So you have to be good observer, you have to be good analyzer. That's why you need an experience to make conclusions out of your observation. So, and apply the new things that you analyzed. So that's my principle, let's say.
I've told you before that I love your philosophy. Yeah. So you can just speak and I just can enjoy it. So good job. Yeah. Very good points. And your 3 words is the whole process of how you work. Good job. Okay, let's continue with Sandy.
Okay, so I chose fun, challenging, and innovative. So well, my teaching experience is very limited, but when I was doing my undergrad in Swansea, basically I was working with refugee children. So their parents, or mostly their moms, would be in a counseling session, and I would be working with the children. So it would be fun because we played games, I'd interact with the kids. Challenging is most of the kids, majority of the kids did not speak any English, so we didn't have a mutual language we spoke. So it was quite challenging to get to know them. So I'd be asking them what their name is, how they're feeling, what they would like to do. So, and then innovative, I would have to think of really innovative ways to get these like little gems out of them. So yeah, so it was fun, challenging, and innovative.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember my experience when I started working with children. That's something you have to really be prepared. And but at the end, you just realize how much experience you got after doing all this. Yeah, after adapting these challenges and objectives, you have to just
Definitely.
Yeah, finish.
And
Okay.
satisfaction, I would say.
Sorry?
The satisfaction you get after teaching children. And
yeah, also satisfaction, because kind of you're a teacher, and you can, Sigmund Freud said that actually our psychology and the main principles of our behavior is just stop developing after 5 years old. Like what developed there after 5 years old, that will be your unconscious side. So that's why it's good just to be part of this teaching English to children, to be the first who just give some structure there. So good job, Sandy. Sandy.
Thank you.
Right. All right. Let's continue with Parvana.
Okay. Actually, I don't have lots of experience in teaching, but as I was a moderator in a few conversations, I can tell that teaching is interesting, inspiring, and sometimes a bit difficult. So it's interesting. Why? Because you get to know lots of people, different people, and people have different opinions, and I don't know, they have different qualities. You get to know them. It's inspiring. Why? Because every time you moderate a conversation, you at the same time with students, you learn lots of things. So maybe new words, I don't know. And sometimes it's a bit difficult. Why? Because it's really sometimes difficult to manage all the students, and you have to involve all of them in conversation, so they have to listen to each other, so learn from each other. So yeah, I can describe teaching with 3 adjectives: inspiring, interesting, and a bit difficult.
These adjectives are the most amazing adjectives I've ever heard about teaching. Good job. Yeah, it is. Some people, they say these 3 words. Yeah, and they say some structure of process, as Rufat said. Yeah, but I also like when a teacher also see this process as a philosophy. For example, philosophy of contributing to someone's life. Yeah, because in fact it is like this, right? People come to us and they want some English, and we give them some English, and then they achieve something because of this language. Yeah, because as you said, statistically it is the most wanted language in any sphere. Okay, guys, the next question. Now I want you to describe the negative side of teaching in 1 word and say why. Okay, negative side of teaching in 1 word. For this, I give you again 1 minute if you need that, and then yeah, we'll continue. it's really challenging to just, you know, sit like this very quietly, not to do anything. And okay, yeah, I want to speak, guys. I cannot wait 1 minute. Just sitting like this and trying not to look at you and so on. All right, let's start with Sambi.
Oh, okay, so I don't think I can put it into one word, but I'm gonna say non-stop.
Non-stop.
So yeah, so it's an ever-going process. So you're always doing something, even if you're tired, you just have to keep going. If you don't feel like teaching, you have to teach. If you're not in the mood, if you're having a bad day, you always have to give it your energy. Same energy, being consistent, just so you can just get the best results out of the kids. So at the end of the day, if you are not being consistent and don't give it your all, you end up not getting the best results from the kids, and I think they can see that. So I think non-stop was the thing that was the one word that I thought could describe everything.
All right, good.
Yeah.
That is what I totally agree with you. And yeah, that is really non-stop. And as a teacher, you always have to smile, to spread this energy, because if you're not going to have positive energy, it can be a big factor of which will hinder your students start the lesson, get the information, because this factor of energy plays a big role. Sandy. Yeah. Thank you. And let's continue with Rufat.
So it's really challenging to come up with a single idea, but I guess that would be trying to be perfect, something like that. So maybe it's kind of, it was not one word, but it was one phrase. So I don't know, trying to be perfectionist in the way.
We can call it perfection.
Perfection. Yeah. I mean, perfection, but in the negative way. So, I don't know, maybe
perfection.
Anti-very perfection. I don't know. It's still not one word. So, I don't know. Maybe it comes from a Soviet kind of teaching that teacher needs to be a perfect or something like that. I don't know where it really comes from. It's kind of culture that mostly we have here, but surely by this kind of, let's say, sharing experiences and by this kind of global experience, we as a youth trying to break these stereotypes that teacher cannot be a perfect teacher, is a human as well. So it's not a robot or something like that. So, but still there is like something in mind regarding this perfectionism. So at some point you feel that you don't have a chance to make a mistake. So that could be a negative side.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing these deep points of your teaching experience. Let's continue with Shams.
Okay. For me, the one word can be demotivated, because I've faced it personally. You teach, you put all your energy, but the students, don't learn, and you just teach it, and after 1 month you see there is no progress, and you are also demotivated, and the student also is demotivated. I can call it eternal return. But when we see progress, it's the most important side of teaching, I guess. If you don't see progress, so you are not a good teacher, or maybe that person is not a good student. But in any case, you are the one who is guilty.
But guys, have you ever noticed in your English, for example, that you have some word that you're learning this word every day? Let's say a tree. Yeah, but when it comes to say this word, you forget it, and then after 1 month, it just comes from nowhere. Yeah, you just realize that you start speaking. You said this word. Now it's in your active vocabulary. Yeah, so that's why maybe if they don't learn and if they don't get more educated of English, then maybe it's not the time. Yeah, for their brain to analyze and give some impulses.
Yeah, that's right. But let's imagine that your full of group is with full of people like that. What's gonna be?
Craziness. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Shams. Let's continue with Leila. Yeah, Leila. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like in one word, I can say overwhelmed, being overwhelmed sometimes, because I can give an example from the like managing the conversation, or let's say moderating the conversation. For example, I ask the question, I listen to the person who is answering the question, but I also need to pay attention to the others, and I somehow try to manage the overall atmosphere in the conversation. Like I need to pay attention whether someone is bored or something is not going well. So like doing everything at the same time, or trying to do everything at the same time. Also, you sometimes think about the next question you're gonna ask, so like there is a lot to
Yeah.
manage.
Yeah. Um, I remember when I was working as a speaking teacher, and I've had 6 conversations nonstop. And
Okay.
yeah, but it was okay. It was 1 hour, 30 minutes, okay, of my lunchtime. Sometimes 15, doesn't matter. But yeah, sometimes I didn't have it. So what I want to say, yeah, I understand this pressure. I understand this intention inside of you. And I just felt one day, like most of time actually, I felt that in my brain there are just little people. They just they just run for information. What are you going to ask then? Okay, yes, no questions, WH questions, no, like. And it was some day I was coming to work and I was asking myself, oh, what am I supposed to talk to them today? Yeah, we spoke about weather, we spoke about this, that, and I was just out of my way. But then, yeah, then I found how I can compensate that with improvisation. We're going to speak about this, of course, how to always keep your conversations up. Yeah, that's why we're here. Okay, and let's continue. We have like Parvana. Parvana, have you said anything? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
In one word, I can say teaching is sometimes tiring. For example, at conversations, we all know that there is one teacher and there are lots of students. So these students have different characters and personalities. Maybe one of them actually doesn't like you, but you have to treat them as they are. So you shouldn't just show them that you don't like them either, or other ways. So that makes sometimes a person tired, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The tiring process. All right, guys. Now we're moving to the content. Yeah, to the main points we're going to have on our training. Let me just switch them. Can you see it, guys? Might I make it like that? Okay. So in the chat, you can see that I've sent it to you. Yeah, that is, let's say, some brief planning of things we're going to do. So that was our first training today. It was about just getting to know each other. Yeah. And then we're going to speak about psychological moments of our students and people in our group. Yeah, that's going to be people are different training. And then non-verbal communication, which will add some extra power to our speaking. And then we're going to speak about lesson structure, how we can structure it, how we can have at least a little plan of the things we're going to do, not to get confused during the classes we're going to have in the future. Then we have here roles of a teacher. And these are roles we don't have to play, but we have to control that. Now I am strict, now I am not, now I am observing. Yeah, just changing these roles to adapt the conversation as a teacher. And then we have here using visuals at a lesson. As I know, I'm not sure, okay, your conversations are mainly about some topic and questions and vocabulary given to you, and you have to teach that. But we also will discover with you a new format of conversation you can have, and with that you can economize your time and don't need to think so much. Yeah, and this kind of let's say format of lesson can be very effective. Yeah, they can study, they can learn, but you don't need to put so much effort on that. Then stress management, which is very important also for us. We're going just to discuss different things and talking about our experiences with stress and how we overcome it. And then we just will take a closer look to psychological moments of the stress, how we can overcome it. And then we're going to have closer look on Zoom. So that's going to be about the program we are using. And we're going to speak about potential of this program. And actually, we're going to speak about different tools we can use to make our classes, it doesn't matter, conversation, speaking, or grammar, more interactive. And then we're ready to go. It's going to be our last training, where we're going just to speak about the trainings we've had, and then we'll try to create some network. Yeah, because I don't want this training just to end and that's all. Yeah, it's good to create some networking between our teachers, for them to share their experience or problems maybe in this network. Then we have here, and yeah, it's going to be some really nice activity which we're going to do, at the last training. And now we're going to have a little activity. This activity is called Letter to the Future. If you have a piece of paper and a pen, then we can start. So what we're going to do, we're going to write a letter to ourselves in the future. Did you get me? Like, I'll give you about 5 minutes. I don't want you to write, I don't know, 2 pages of this letter. No, you can make it short. Yeah. And there, the format is going to be something like this. Hey, you, or hey, me in the future. How's it going? I hope that you've got something from this training. I hope that you liked it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So good. Any questions about this activity? Does everyone? No? Okay.
Does it necessarily, I mean, is it the future in the context of the end of the training, like after the 9 lessons, or it's the context of 5-10 years?
First.
Just an activity?
First. Yeah, after 9 trainings. And at our last training, we're going to open this letter and read it. Okay. So 10 minutes, guys. Oh, no, sorry, 5 minutes, not 10. 5 minutes, and then I will ask you just some little questions about this letter. Yeah, your expectations about this training. Let's start from you, Rufat.
My expectations generally, they are quite high, because I already feel the vibe in this conversation, in this group. So I feel that I already have the high expectations. But generally, it's like to be more, at the end of training, I wish I will be more confident, more open to some, let's say, experiments with the knowledge that I already have. So, and I can manage the students, let's say, in a good way, even though without seeing them in person. So like kind of online management, I don't know, something like that. So
without touching them, right?
I don't have any. Yeah, without touching them, without physical contact, let's say.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Let's continue with Leila.
Okay, so I don't want to see anybody getting bored during my conversation, and I want to manage it very well that everybody is happy at the end of the day. So this is my main expectation. I would like to achieve this after this training. And especially I'm interested about the Zoom part because I feel like we can play around the Zoom a bit, but we don't have much information about that. So like we don't use its potential. So yeah, the Zoom and making the conversation as interactive and interesting as possible.
Thank you so much. And Shams?
I also have this almost same expectation with Leila, but additionally, I want to be more confident about my conversation, and I want to know how to interrupt students without offending them. Let's say sometimes they're talking too much. I don't know how to stop them, but I know we're running out of time. We have limited time, but I don't know how to manage in this moments. I couldn't say that, please, now your turn is over. So I also I've seen the syllabus. It was, I guess, you really take it seriously training, and that's why I also have good expectations.
Thank you. Yeah, let's continue with Sembi.
So my expectations for the training is, I think, yeah, mostly it's just so I know how to interact with the students. I know exactly what to do because I think it's quite foreign to me. I don't know what a moderator does per se with an English moderator with foreign language students. So this is it's quite new to me. So my expectations, I wouldn't say they're high. I think it's just basically understanding what I need to do and how to do it.
All right.
After the training, yeah.
So I hope that these trainings are going to be some kind of warm up for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Let's continue with Parvana.
I believe that this training will contribute a lot as I'm inexperienced. I believe that I'm going to learn how to manage the class and conversation well and how to communicate with students well. So I think it's going to be
Okay, guys.
yes.
So that was all about your expectation. Now, yeah, you have the letter, you know, the instructions. You're going to save this letter up to our last training. And there we're going to read these letters. And I hope that the things, the wishes you wrote there are going to be fulfilled from my side. But also about this, I would love to have a word that I'm not giving you the way how to do things right. Yeah, it is the last thing I want to teach you because there is no right? There is something you have to form in yourself, your teaching style. Yeah, there is no something standard. We have to be inside of this box and just say that is teaching. No, teaching is mostly about going out of this box. Okay, good. So that's all for today. And next time our topic is people are different. And as I told you, we're going to speak about kinds of students and people. I just divided people and students, sorry. Yeah, kinds of students. Yeah, and also we're going to speak about our gestures, how we can speak with our body, not just with our voice, okay? Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions? Nope.
I'm good.
All right, everyone is fine. All right, so see you on Wednesday at 3 o'clock local time.
All right.
Thank you.
Have
See
a good
you.
day.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Take
Have a
care.
good day.
See you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, so guys, it was our first training on one step from becoming a speaking teacher. And I hope that you'll like it. And if you have, again, any questions, you can just comment this video, and we are as a platform, and I personally, I'll try to help you with any questions about becoming a speaking teacher. Bye.